This week's Ordeal Nightfall is Broodhold. It is the first time, to my knowledge, that this has been the Ordeal Nightfall, or a Nightfall of any kind, that is actually farmable. It's pretty easy to get 100,000 score on the Legend difficulty, which is 1,000 power. First, let's go over the modifiers. We have Martyr. Exploding units have more health. Champions Unstoppable and Champions Barrier. And in Anonurn's Chorus, it's the boss's name, however the fuck you pronounce it, incoming void and environmental damage is increased. Now, these are the modifiers for Legend. You also have Match Game, and you will also have your Equipment Locked, which is the standard for the Ordeal Nightfalls. In order to achieve 100,000 score, you will most definitely need to kill all the champions if you're running this on Legend. The champions are pretty easy to spot. Just keep an eye on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. You will see a champion has appeared each time a champion has appeared. Just make sure that whenever you see that, you go and kill all the champions. The only champion that is kind of, I guess you could say, hidden, is one that you could miss fairly easily, is going to be during the actual final boss fight. Once you get the boss's health down to about half, it spawns a champion in that room, so keep that in mind. And to get 100,000 points in the Legend version, you're probably going to need that champion. I think after all said was done, we got every champion and we killed the boss twice. The boss in the final room does count for about 3,000 points, both for the actual boss and the one that splits off. If you've never done this strike, you basically have two versions of the final boss. But with every champion, every enemy, and every boss, all two of them at the end, we finished with a score around 106,000. So you can probably get by very, very closely with missing one of the champions, but in the Ordeal Nightfalls, it's always recommended that you get all of them so that you can get the platinum rewards instead of the gold or silver rewards. It's a better chance of getting a drop that you're going to enjoy. So let's talk about loadouts. Team composition, if you're running in a team of 3, I'm always going to recommend 1 Titan, 1 Warlock, 1 Hunter. For the Titan, I'm going to go ahead and recommend Bubble on this one. There's a lot of enemies that can sneak up on you. Curse Thrall everywhere. They're orange bars. They do a lot of damage. Even at, I think I was doing this at 1022, those Curse Thrall will one-shot you if they get up behind you. So Bubble's going to be a good play here for Titans. Warlocks, Well of Radiance is never bad. You could also do something like Bottom Tree Dawnblade and use it for ad clear. For Hunters, I'm going to go ahead and go with straight up Orpheus Rig on this one with Top Tree Tether. The reason being is because there's a ton of little clusters of ads that you can get the max amount of super back with Orpheus Rig, which is half of your super. Combine that with the other orbs that your teammates are going to be making and the orbs that you're going to be feeding them. It's a really easy way to pad your score as well as clearing out ads and keeping yourself alive. So that's my recommendation for subclasses. As far as weapons go, like I said, you will need to run Unstoppable. I prefer to do that on a hand cannon, which is why I'm running this Better Devils. Also, Better Devils is one of my favorite weapons in the game. I love this thing so much. You also want to make sure that you have the anti-barrier rounds. If you're a Titan and you don't feel like running Bubble, a trick that I learned from a buddy of mine named Devious, he's in Be Bold Clan, he's a good dude. You can follow him on Twitter. You can find him. A trick that I learned that Titans can do in these Nightfalls is if you're running the middle tree, the big hammer for Sunbreaker, you can actually pop that super and take out a barrier champion. The big swing that creates the little fire vortex is enough to constantly stun them and prevent them from putting up their shield. So that is some big time plays, man. If you're a Titan and you don't want to run something like a submachine gun or a sidearm to run anti-barrier, you can totally run that. Just make sure that you're going to have enough super. As far as elemental shield types, we did not encounter any void shields. That's not to say that you won't, but we, on our run, encountered a bunch of solar shield wizards and a bunch of arc shield knights. To deal with those shields quickly, you can run something like a legendary machine gun. Your Edgewise is going to be really good for the solar shields, and something like a 21% delirium will do very well against the arc shields. This also allows you to run an exotic somewhere else in your loadout. I've always been a big fan of running Divinity and a couple of Izanagis on my team just to insta-clap those champions. Izanagis might not be the best for like raid boss DPS, But when you pop Divinity on one of these champions and hit them with an Izanagi, even one honed edge shot is almost enough to kill them in one burst. You just saw it happen right there. It's a really good play if it's available. If for whatever reason you're not going to have a Divinity available on your fire team, or if for whatever reason you don't have an Izanagi's, something like Xenophage, something like maybe even a Prospector. Prospector might be pretty good here to both deal with the champions, have that quick, rapid DPS, as well as breaking some of these arc shields. It's another positive of running Divinity if you have one available. You can pop those arc shields off really quickly, and as soon as they come down, you already have, the Divinity bubble around them, so you can swap to your heavy or your primary and go ahead and deal with them straight away. Something like a Thunderlord might actually be pretty good in here. If you really want to mix things up, throw on a Fourth Horseman. If you're comfortable enough getting close to those champions for Fourth Horseman to work, it would probably absolutely tear them up. But, this part always comes down to playstyle. There's what you need and then what you like. So, just kind of mess around with whatever you like. As long as you have some good burst damage weapons for the champions, you are going to be okay. For the score deterioration, I'm not 100% sure. We didn't get that far into the strike. We beat it before our score started going down, but I would have to assume it's going to be like a lot of the other 1,000 power Nightfall ordeals, which is your score starts to deteriorate around the 20-minute mark, and then around the 23 to 25-minute mark, that's when you can no longer earn any score whatsoever, and it's just going to keep ticking down. So, yeah, that's pretty much it, man. The last thing that I have to say for this video is if you were farming last week's Nightfall, you probably noticed that there was a bug where you were getting double the rewards that you were supposed to get. If you finished with, say, Platinum rewards, you would look on the side of your screen and it would say Platinum rewards twice, and then it would give you twice as many rewards. Like I even got a couple of double exotic drops. It was really nice. But, yeah, unfortunately, that is no longer a thing. It looks like that's been fixed. Or maybe it was only active in that Nightfall because that Nightfall had all the champions, and this one only has 2 out of the 3 champions. I don't know. But for whatever reason, it's gone, and I'm sad about it. But this is a pretty easy Nightfall. It's pretty farmable. It's the first time it's been the Nightfall, so it was actually kind of fun, learning it for the first time. But anyway, that's going to bring the commentary portion of this video to an end. I'm going to go ahead and let the gameplay stick around until the end of the Nightfall if you want to see where the champions are, when they spawn, where they spawn, things like that. But I'm going to stop talking now. If you enjoyed this video, click like. If you're new to the channel, click subscribe. And if you're already subscribed, I fucking love you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and take care. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to be streaming on twitch.tv/pyrogamingyt.